Hey gang, thought I'd give you a look at this little Atwater Kent. It's a Model 85 radio. It was built in the 1931, super heterodyne, AC powered. They made an 85Q that was battery powered for farm usage, but they're pretty nice old units. The chassis is aluminum, which is a plus. That saved a lot of work. Anybody that's scrubbing rust off those things knows. The cabinet, I pretty much got it finished. I'm not real good at refinishing these things. I kind of went with my instincts and just stripped it. Basically used oil on it to finish a little bit of stain, but grill cloth's excellent condition. That's always a plus. Here's a look at the side of it. Pretty nice looking cabinet actually. Inside, gotta find the buttons here. Yeah, like I said, the grill cloth's fine. The felt padding where the speaker lands against the front's good. Brackets there, yeah, blah blah. It turned out pretty nice. I put a lot of work into stripping the inside of this thing out. Also, I don't know if that was something a professional refinisher would have done, but I did. And that's the way that turned out. Back to the chassis. The electrical end of this thing. I'll flip it up on its side here and we'll have a look underneath. We had to, the biggest problem with this thing from the start was all of the rubber coated wiring had become real brittle and everything was falling off. It had to be replaced. Even coming up into the IF cans, IF transformers, yeah, a lot of that had to be replaced. The tuning cap had to come off. Excuse me, I had to kill a spider. Yeah, there's been a lot of wiring. The wiring has been the biggest issue with this whole project. Okay, we'll flip this thing up. The dial face, it was the original dial face was well, I've got it right over here. It looks something like this. I mean, well, basically looks like a piece of junk plastic. I found a reproduction, excuse me, my tongue tied again. I think I got that from Mark Opat at oldradios.net, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty cheap, didn't cost a lot, but it's nice to be able to buy that stuff when you do need it. Hat tip to Mark. We've still got a lot of the original tags and the stuff that were in this case. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. They use an 80 rectifier tube and I don't know, a couple 35s for detection and first IF, I think, and 27 in there for an oscillator, and a 24 and a second detection circuit. But at any rate, pretty cool. As I mentioned, the wiring was the biggest issue with this. I've had to replace a lot of the rubber coated wire under here. Now all the cloth coated wire was in pretty good shape, so we didn't have to mess with that. We checked the first thing, of course, when I even opened this thing up, was check resistance measurements on the power transformer. They were all cool. So I decided that I would fire it up with without the rectifier tube in it. So the high voltage side was disabled, just to check to see if filament was light and all that, or check output voltage on the power transformer actually. And sure enough, yeah, they're cool. They're good. The choke assembly, resistance measurements are cool there. So this radio's got a pretty good chance of working. Now the filter cap, of course, that's 8 microfarad. You see it. I think there's stuff running out of the bottom of it. But at any rate, I replaced that with a temporary little electrolytic there, because my intentions were to fire this thing up, bring it up slowly, you know, with a dim bulb circuit and a variac, because I actually haven't checked all the resistors and capacitors in the circuit. It's got several of these can caps and stuff that are potential problems, and probably will be. All the wire wounds are fortunately intact, and of course, being wire wounds, they are within spec. This one here, the wire was all loose on the core, and I just used a glue gun and glued that stuff back. But like I say, I wouldn't bet on this thing working, but it should power up at the moment. Before I powered it up, I figured, well, we've checked all the other transformers, checked chokes. We need to look at the field coil speaker. Well, when I got to that deal, this just type 85 field coil speaker, the audio output transformer mounts right there, and this is it. Turns out, get my camera to work right, turns out the secondary on this thing was open. So even if it had worked, I wouldn't hear anything. Not sure where I'm going to find one of these things. I did try to, sometimes with audio output transformers in general, windings in general, the problem can usually be right at the junction point between the wiring and the tabs going out. So I stripped all that back and looked really closely, and I checked the resistance down here where they actually enter the core. Nah, is toast. I think the primary side is supposed to be 500 ohm and secondary 0.25 that feeds the voice coil. So at any rate, that's a game stopper. If anybody knows where I can find an audio output transformer with those specifications, I would really appreciate it. Okay, let me flip this thing back over. So it doesn't fall on my toe. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a look at this old radio. It's a real jewel. I'd love to make this thing work, but it's going to be a while yet. Let's see if we can get you a little better view of stuff behind there. Yeah, it's just very clean, nice piece. And I appreciate you watching this boring video of the old Atwater Kent 85.